So welcome back to I'm Still Here. I'm Heather. At 26 years old, I was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer. It changed everything for us, but I'm still here. And today, Christy is back with me. If you guys have been listening for a long time, you met Christy early on. She's my best friend, and we've been hanging out for a long time. And today we are talking about one of our favorite things to talk about, food. Food. So welcome, Christy. So
Thanks.
I just wanted to say, like, I actually just was talking to Christy, and I was thinking about this food episode, and I knew that the best person to do it with was going to be you. So I feel like you started this journey with me years ago, like the whole food journey, right? And
something we could do together. And
yeah, we've had a few disasters, but I think over time,
more successes than disasters.
True. I think we figured out some things that work well for us. So I thought maybe we could just share. I think a lot of people want to know, like, what can I do or what should I do? And we're not saying that you should do any of these things necessarily, but I feel pretty good about all the stuff we're going to talk about today is just leads maybe to a healthier lifestyle. Do you agree?
I do agree. And I feel like we were a little bit ahead of the curve with the whole plant-based or adding more vegetables and produce. And it feels like that's been a thing more.
Absolutely.
Recently.
Absolutely. So let's start by talking about adding things. So you have a lot of experience with this. Do you just want to share kind of your perspective on, how people start sort of changing diets and really maybe a better way to do it?
I just kind of stumbled. I don't even know where I heard it. But I started when I first started working and everything that I was going to try to add good food in rather than suffer through taking away some of my favorite things. So, I tried to hold it off once I had my however many, 5, 8, whatever you're saying, fruits and vegetables, then I could consider the chips or the sweet or whatever I wanted at the end of the night. And sometimes I wasn't hungry by the time I got through all my fruits and vegetables. So that helped me get started, I guess.
And I think too, like when you're talking about getting started on a healthier lifestyle, you are immediately thinking, oh, I can't have this, I can't have that, I can't have all these things. But honestly, when you think about it differently in terms of just let's add in some good things, that's just a whole different mindset, I feel like.
I think so too. And I think it starts a good cycle. We know the vicious cycle. I think it starts a good cycle. I'm starting to feel better. Food is tasting a little different to me. And I think you start to thrive on the good things and even want the treats or whatever a little bit less than before.
And even with doing this is one of our mistakes that we made a long time ago. We bought a million different things. Don't do that, right? Like, I mean, I in the winter, like for fruits, I probably eat five different fruits and like 2 or 3 a week. I don't do a lot of variety necessarily,
No, because there's a lot of waste. It things go by different rates, and I think I'm, and I don't have a whole lot of people in my house, so I can't have a whole lot. I think people maybe overestimate how much they feel like they need a variety, or that's pitched to us. Eat the rainbow and all of that, and it's not necessarily real life, I guess.
Right. This time of year for me, I do grapefruit in the grapefruit cups, the ones without the sugar. I do raspberries because I love raspberries and they're pretty good year round, I feel like. I like pomegranates, which are going to be out of season here pretty soon, but apples, and then like some frozen fruit, right, which doesn't go bad. But those are kind of my mainstays right now,
I've got bananas. I do like apples most of the year. I am not a grapefruit girl. You always have been. Never been. I think I have some blueberries in my refrigerator right now. But frozen fruit is so good for so many things, and it lasts so long.
Right.
You can use that all. That's where I fill in gaps, I think, with frozen.
Yeah, for sure. So the other thing before we get going into kind of like some sort of go-to recipes is I think people also are very concerned about organic versus not organic. How do you prepare? How do you not prepare? And for me, I just also feel like I can't get caught up in all of it all the time, right?
I agree. I
So
really, it's overwhelming, you know, if
yeah,
there's just too much conflicting information, you just do the best you can and
right.
start with adding in.
I agree. I mean, if you want to Google the Dirty Dozen, which talks about the ones that have the highest pesticides, you can do that. But honestly, what I found for me, like spinach is one of my mainstays. It's really easy to find organic spinach
Yeah.
everywhere you go now. It's at Aldi, it's at Meyer for those of you who live in the Midwest. It's everywhere. I think it's at Walmart. I mean, and there's not a huge price difference on that. So I just, for the things that's really easy, I do organic. And for some of the other things, I'm just not going to worry about it,
Right. Or even if you peel it, that gets
Yes,
rid of a lot of it. So,
yes,
pick them by how much exposure you actually get
right,
from it too.
right, absolutely. So one of the things that we started making, or I started making really early on, was a smoothie. Like, right? So
Great way to start the day. Lots of good nutrition.
yes. So I I purchased a blender. You have to have a blender that can blend things up. It does not have to be in my experience, a Vitamix or a Blendtec, but I have a Ninja. I mean, you need something though that can really chop up
Give
frozen.
you give you a good consistency. You don't want it
Yeah,
to be
yeah.
chunky.
I've had a lot of people who've tried my smoothie and they're like, I can taste the spinach. And I'm always like, I don't think you can taste the spinach, but if your blender isn't good enough, you can see it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'll give you that sort of thing. So, um, yeah, smoothies are just a great way to start. And what I found is you can add to them to meet your goals. So for me, back then it was nutrition, kind of as much nutrition as possible. I wasn't worried about calorie count,
Right.
right? But now I'm a little more worried about calories, right? So
Yeah.
I was just gonna like my smoothie always has spinach in it, and um, sometimes it's fresh and sometimes it's frozen. It doesn't really matter to me. By frozen, I mean like it was fresh once in my fridge and I threw it in the freezer in a just to keep it from going bad. Um, those are like my spinach, frozen fruit of some kind. Do you have a favorite combo or some must-haves for fruit that you like?
I no, I don't know that I do. I do. Spinach for sure, just because it's an easy one. I don't smell it or taste it. Sometimes it affects the color a little bit. I
Yep.
guess I like strawberries. I think banana gives a nice creaminess if I have them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a raspberry girl. Strawberries,
Yeah.
blueberries,
Yeah.
mango. I
Oh,
like that
mango.
or sometimes. So
I like pineapple. I'll do
yes.
pineapple. Pineapple, especially if you like the flavor of it, it masks the flavor of a lot of things quite well, I feel like. So,
I love cantaloupe in the summertime. I don't like it ever in a smoothie. I don't know what it is. I can
okay.
smell it, and you
Yeah.
can hide some vegetables in there. I don't like
Yeah.
broccoli, or broccoli never appeals to me in it either. It's almost like I can smell it a little bit, but so it's funny what I notice and don't notice.
Yeah. I used to do carrots in the smoothie too, and I don't do that anymore. I don't
I
know.
think I like to eat them often enough that I don't
Okay.
feel like I
I
need to
just
add
don't
them in
really
there.
love carrots. So
I
I don't know. There's
See, I only love like it's so funny. I hate them cooked. I love them fresh only.
okay.
And some people are like, oh, only cooked.
I was gonna say I like them roasted, but that's about it, really. That's probably my favorite. I'll eat them raw sometimes. But so some veggies, some fruit, and then when it comes to liquid, what do you put in it?
I think I have almond milk now. I think we were more soy milk back then. I'm not sure almond milk had really boomed yet.
Yeah.
Um, I've even done just water, maybe.
I
a
do
splash
just
of
water
juice.
quite often too.
Yeah.
And again, that's a calorie thing for me. Like I'm not going to take the calories that, I used to do orange juice. Like I would do good orange juice and soy milk or whatever. But now more often than not, it is water for me. So, and then what about like extras, other things that you put in?
I've often done flax meal, like so
Mhm.
already. Trying to think. I mean, you can throw oatmeal in it. Oatmeal grinds in there just
Oh,
fine
sure.
if you're looking
Yep.
for some more fiber or
Yeah,
soluble fiber or whatever.
good idea.
I haven't been into them of late, smoothies
Yeah,
overall. I think
yeah.
I don't know. I didn't do them most of the summer for some reason, but I have a
Okay.
friend who does them every single day,
Yeah.
summer, winter.
Yep. You can do yogurt in them, Greek
Yes,
yogurt,
right.
Flax. If you can do flax, make sure it's ground up, either buy it ground or you get a little coffee grinder, because otherwise
No,
it's just
goes
gonna
right through
go
you.
right through your body.
Yeah.
Sometimes chia, I don't know. I've tried some different
Oh
things
yeah.
over time, but
There's what else is there? I'm gonna draw a blank on it. I'll think of it later. Oh, well, I'll
have you
think of it
ever
later.
tried avocado in it?
I guess it wouldn't surprise me. I don't
I
know.
haven't, but I was just thinking for maybe people who wanted some nutrient dense, like a
Yeah,
smoothie. I think I would head that way.
I
You know,
would think you could. I've done it in soups and stuff, and the
yeah,
same blended it that way.
yeah.
And I know there's some good puddings that are recipes that are
Okay.
chocolate with avocado. So I know that it flies under the radar and gives
Yeah.
a nice
Oh,
creaminess.
right. Yeah. So, yeah. So that's it. I mean, the smoothie, when you're looking at adding fruits and vegetables to your day and you literally go, whoop, I just got 4 or whatever, it's a great way to start in that respect. It is a little harder to do when you live in cold climates like we do in the winter, I feel like. So,
Yeah.
and then the other thing I do with that, just to kind of help control the portion size or whatever, is I just use the single serve on my
Oh,
Ninja. So,
nice.
you
Smart.
know, that
Because I
works.
do think that's a thing that happens. It gets bigger as you go. Oh, I'll just
It
throw a
does.
little more.
If you keep adding, remember you're supposed to consume it all. And I will say, I have made sometimes I have made them ahead of time, but that is not for a newbie because they're
No.
not as good day after day, and you do have to mix them up. And literally, you're really just drinking it for like nutrition at that point, not for how good it is. So, not my recommended thing, but
Right.
yeah. One thing we were talking about before we started recording was that, like, I have a smoothie bag in my freezer, which just means any fruit that's starting to go bad, I just make sure it's small enough that it could go right into the blender, and then also spinach. So I just keep stuff. I threw some raspberries that I was worried were going to go bad in there not that long ago or whatever. So I just kind of have this ongoing smoothie bag that works out great to be able to pull out. So.
I've occasionally just taken a bag and pretty much put all the things in. Because sometimes when I'm making it, I feel like, well, here's the bag of
Oh,
frozen
right.
raspberries. Here's it. So
Yes.
I've like done a serving of it. So it's all measured out. It's all
Oh, nice.
frozen, and then I just dump it right in. And so I've done, but that takes a little planning ahead, and that's not always how I
Yeah,
roll. But when
yeah,
it works, it's great.
yeah. Well, if people do like a meal prep time where they're kind of cleaning out their fridge, doing that kind of stuff, that's a great way to go in terms of really to know what you're getting. And yeah, that's awesome. All right, let's talk about some other favorite, maybe go-to meals that have helped us over the years. I mean, full disclosure, you are way more vegetarian / vegan than I am at this point in the game. But let's just talk about some hacks for some different kind of, well, I think what we realized early on was that like completely changing like the meals was not probably what we wanted, right? Like we wanted to be able to eat the meals that we liked, but
I
have
think
them
we
be
did.
healthier.
I think we started out trying to be like too perfect, or almost everything felt weird to us. So I think we
Yeah.
realized really early we needed to still be comfort food-ish, you know, like
Right.
we liked the tuna casserole, and we liked shepherd's pie, and we just kept modifying comfort recipes, and we
Yeah.
wanted a veggie burger. And
Yeah.
so I think it needed to seem like something we looked forward to or felt good to us too. It didn't,
Yeah.
some of our disasters were just a little weirder than we were up for.
Just a few too many leafy greens and not enough. I don't even know.
Seems like
Yeah.
we had some flavored tofu that was a little out of our reach, a little too
Yeah.
early.
We did like a veggie burrito kind of thing that was like a lot of chopped veggies too, that I was like, this is just not vegetables that I like in a tortilla shell. It was, it just didn't work. So one thing though that has always worked for me, and I'm sure you have a version of this too, is just like some version of Mexican / tacos. So
Yeah, mine could be super simple to a can of refried beans, maybe a can of regular beans, some salsa mixed together, or it can be elaborate. I've made meat out of, like, if you grind up mushrooms and walnuts and some cauliflower, you can kind of make a fake meat that has a really good feel to it with the same seasoning. So sometimes I make it too hard, and sometimes I can make it pretty simple.
yeah. And then the other thing, I mean, along with that, one thing that I learned early was just to not to put it all together. So if I was doing ground beef, that could stay separate from the refried beans, from the, from if I did a bunch of onions and peppers and things like that, just keeping everything separate so that like when my kids were little, everybody could get what they wanted, and even cheese or not cheese or fake cheese, whatever, just having it kind of, where everybody could put together their own and feel good about it, I think, or be happy about it.
And even if you have leftovers, you could do nachos, you could do a burrito, you could do a
Right.
bowl, it changes it up, but still even using the same.
And I think that was, Mexican is something that my family could eat on a regular basis, and it is just little things that you could change up and make it usable. So.
Yeah.
Let's talk about making salads. So, I mean, if everybody ate a salad every day, it would be a great first start, right? To again adding some things. I'm shaking. So what
I buy like romaine lettuce, the best that I can find, and I put it all in. I have a big bucket kind of that I put some in cold water with some baking soda to loosen anything up, rinse it off, and then I rinse it individually and I chop it all up and I put it in a salad spinner to get so much of the water off, and then I store it right in that basket. So the salad spinner is in my veggie drawer right now with and the paper towel underneath the basket to soak up some of that extra water, and that'll last like a whole week.
Yeah.
And we do, if it's there, we're way more apt to eat it. Like, takes a lot of the work every day.
Yeah, for me, I mean, literally, I'll just buy, it depends on what size tub, like who's eating or how many salads I'm making. But I don't even wash the organic stuff, I'll be honest. But I always put a paper towel in there because it does absorb, in those clamshells, which they're not all as clamshelly as they were anymore. But again, put a paper towel on there and it'll absorb some of that moisture, and it does make it last so much better.
So, and even if you change it out every
day
or two, it extends it too.
Yeah. So you do a lot of the prep for all of the ingredients. Do you prep the salads themselves or not so much?
No, because then I'll just pull how much lettuce or again, who's having it. And so I do end up like chopping up carrots and cucumbers and that kind of stuff every day.
Yeah. And I've done a lot of meal prep where a lot of times I like to eat a salad for lunch. It kind of gets it out of the way, and then I can eat what I want for dinner within reason. But the mason jar salads have been like, or that concept has been really, it works really well if you kind of put your wet stuff on the bottom and then build up from there. There's a million ideas for that, but you can easily make, enough for the week, at least 5 of them, and they're still good on Friday, to do them. So meal prep or having things ready is definitely the way to go, I think, with that.
I think so too. And even just, the baby carrots, if you've got hummus, there's a nice snack in the middle of the day without any prep or,
Yeah. Yeah.
I think how difficult it is to get it from ready to eat is like important when you're making decisions when you're hungry. It's hard
For
to make a
sure.
good decision if you're starving, and then if a
Right.
bag of chips or whatever is right there, you're gonna pick that
Yeah,
unless
for
you have
sure.
the stuff ready.
And even I will say too, like if you're looking to add protein and things like that, I mean, I've been buying like shredded chicken. Like Aldi has a shredded chicken that's really good, and it's up like $6.99 for a pound of it. It's all ready. I don't have to even do the rotisserie, whatever, and it's enough for the week. It's so easy. I think you always have to think about like time over money sort of things, and what's
Yeah.
what's going to work for that. So also like other protein, I don't know, what else do you add for protein for salads? Anything?
Um, Not too much. I mean, I like a hard boiled egg once in a while, but again, being mostly vegetarian, I guess I probably don't get a whole lot of protein
Okay.
at lunch. Or I do nuts and seeds and stuff like
Yeah.
that, I guess.
Okay. Yeah. And things like that make a huge difference. I love, there's a balsamic glaze that it makes everything better. Like, again, you can do things like that, like do something so you're not like, this is a total drudgery,
Right, right. I'm not chewing on grass from the yard. No, make it nice. I really feel like with salads, the more stuff you put in it, the kind of better it is.
I
Like,
agree. Just
make it fun to
throw stuff in
make
there.
it tasty. Just
Yeah.
something you look forward. You need to look forward to your lunch. It's food is a
Yeah.
happy thing in life.
Yeah. Get some salad toppers or whatever. Yeah. I
Some good
agree.
croutons.
Huh?
Some good croutons. That's
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
I start making my own.
Oh,
That's
that
what I
will
do.
never happen in my house.
I think that's what my air fryer gets used for most.
Oh, perfect. That's funny. All right, let's talk about pasta. I mean, pasta is kind of an easy go-to. Again, if you need calories, great way to get calories, right? But also you can get enriched pastas. I think, a lot of ways that you can make that pretty good.
Yeah, there's lots of whole wheat ones. They've got like more of why am I losing my train of thought on? There's some higher protein ones, and I'm trying to think what the base of it is.
Yeah.
It might be like a pea protein or something.
Yeah.
There's a few different ones.
Yeah. And then again with that, like, I mean, a marinara, if you're looking for healthy, you do need to read the back of the jar. Some of them have a lot of sugar in them and that kind of stuff. But I feel like pasta is also something that you can kind of tailor to whoever wants to eat it. So if you're doing some ground beef, you can do that separate. If you want to add some crumbles or something in it to make it meatier, or mushrooms, things like that,
Like in the summer, I buy even they have it at Costco, the zucchini and summer squash. I just dice that up, freeze it, and I can dump it right in a jar of sauce with some mushrooms. Even freeze okay if you're worried about them going bad, and some onions. It makes it seem like it is a nice
for sure. So just something a little chunkier. And I remember that when I was like doing all the nutrition stuff and they were testing my levels, I remember my lycopene was always off the charts. And I'm sure it's because I ate a lot of salsa and marinara and also ketchup. Those were like funny things, like there's pretty much tomato product at every dinner probably. So
you like salsa even on baked potatoes sometimes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I would love, That's a great way to do tacos too. Yeah.
Or
So,
chili on top of a potato is
yeah.
really good too.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, if you're, I mean, in terms of filling you up, man, a baked potato with some toppings on it is really going to fill you up. It's definitely,
Because I do think that's important to me. I need to feel like I have eaten. I think that's maybe where the smoothie, I don't feel like I've
yeah.
necessarily eaten. And I think I'm a person who feels better if I feel like I
Okay.
ate.
Yeah. Yeah. That's just, yeah, I think it just depends.
And I do think you just kind of have to learn how you are as a person. I might be slightly different on what feels good to
Right.
me and my avenue for getting more produce or whatever. Just,
Yeah.
acknowledging that maybe smoothies aren't for me, and that's
Right.
okay. And I'm going to do something
Yeah, and
else.
like a lot of people love like the overnight oats. I just can't get on board. I just don't like it. There's something about it. I just don't like it. I mean, again, you can get a lot of nutrition out of overnight oats, no
Oh,
doubt in my mind. Just they're not for me. So, you
idea.
know, it is what it
So, and
is.
I so just even if somebody has an idea and it doesn't work out right, that's all right. Just
Or if
try
you have a
something.
favorite, like think how can you adapt it, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I think that's what we did to every recipe
yeah,
at first.
yeah,
But that's felt like
yeah,
we ate a lot of sides at first. Because
yeah. But that leads right into burger, like a burger and fries. Like we changed that up too. I mean, I used to say like Thursday night in my house when the kids were little was like kind of that fast food, frozen food night. Like I wasn't going to spend a lot of time making dinner. So that was the nights that I was looking for the meat substitutes and, some fries, some sweet potato fries, some whatever it is, to kind of put together that easy comfort, whatever meal. So
there's a recipe. It's for a black bean burger that I think it was by that Happy Herbivore or something. But she's like, I made it out of all stuff I could get at a hotel. It was packets of ketchup, and she's like, I had a can of beans. I mashed them
yeah,
up, put a packet of mustard and ketchup from a hotel or whatever,
yeah,
and a couple simple spices. I
yeah,
don't know how she was baking it, but I was like, that's cool. That's my kind of recipe.
yeah, exactly.
My husband has decided that really a burger oftentimes is just a delivery device. He's like, it doesn't have to be a big meaty burger. And
I
he's,
agree.
he's fine with the black bean burgers.
Yeah. So I think we both like that's kind of our favorite burgers is the black bean burgers. Like we've like the Morningstar Farms had one early on that I still with mustard and onions, it's one of my favorites. I actually brought some of those with me this week.
Oh, good.
Yeah. um there are other, there are other kinds. I would say, I mean, again, don't worry too much about the details, but sometimes there's a kind of a laundry list of ingredients on some of those things. So maybe not all the time, but definitely some of the time, try some of those things out. Impossible Burger. Um, I've used that in chili without my husband knowing. And, you know,
I had it in a restaurant once and I was like, oh my gosh, are they sure they gave me the right one? Like
yeah,
that was the first time I ever tried it, was in a restaurant. And I was like,
yeah,
wow, that's crazy.
yeah. Burger King actually has the Impossible Burger now. So, you know, not to but shout out to Burger King. They've always had a veggie burger. It's been years and years and years they've had a veggie burger. So but anyway, you can just do, you can still do your kind of those easy and I don't know, easy meals and feel okay about it, I feel like. So
I do too. I do too.
yeah. And then I just a couple other things I was thinking about was like stir fries, always easy in terms of if you want to get a lot of veggies in, right? Do you make
So
stir fry or not too much?
I do, yeah. I do. I often will make just a batch of brown rice early in the week, and then I can just do some like either a stir fry or if I roasted some vegetables, and then I
Yeah,
have that leftovers for lunches too. So or if it gets to the end of the week, I can throw the rice into a soup or whatever.
yeah.
So I try to have some of that stuff because that's sometimes like, oh geez, it's an hour, to cook your
Yeah.
rice. So I just have
Oh,
it
right.
and
Yeah,
I
so
can
it's a
add
great idea to have that prepped. You can even freeze that too, right?
Yep.
You know,
Hmm.
and get it out or freeze it in smaller portions, things like that. So yeah, I think that's a great idea. And kind of going along stir fry, but another thing, just the same ease and use of veggies is the sheet pan dinners. You know, just take
Never done one of those.
it's so easy just to kind of throw some oil on the pan and then just fill it up with veggies, and you can add a protein too if you want, but you know, if you like roasted veggies, it's a good way to go, you know? So
Yeah.
I think it is kind of one of those things that it's like you get a lot of bang for your buck and you just go, oh wow, that really wasn't that hard, you know?
No, no. And I do love roasted vegetables. I think my mom must not have liked Brussels sprouts because I did not learn until I
Yeah.
was in my 30s,
Yeah.
40s. I don't know when I figured out that I liked Brussels
I
sprouts.
still don't, I don't always love them. And I will say, like, some of
Mm.
that stuff, like in broccoli too, like you know, it's great the first night, but it doesn't carry over as well for me, you know, like day after
Interesting.
day. Like, I don't know. But yeah, but yeah, it is a lot of just, you know, sweet potatoes, cauliflower, so many things, peppers, whatever you like. You can you can add a lot of color to your plate pretty easily. So. And then one other thing that I was thinking about that was what about soups? Do you do a lot
I
of
love.
soups?
I do a lot of soups. I do a lot of soups. I actually my instant pot. I have learned not what we didn't have it when we were starting out, but
Yeah,
I think I like a chunky, almost like stewy kind of
yeah,
soups. I don't have
yeah.
a like. So I do. I have
Mhm.
lots of soups. I think people would say, "Oh, we always have soup when we're at Christy's house." I
Oh,
think
funny.
you've had soup at my
Yeah,
house.
that last one was really good. Yeah. I like them too. I haven't made a ton of them, but I've made a sweet potato soup that I really like. And I've, a black bean soup. I think that might have gotten that from you actually, that recipe, but yeah,
I haven't made that in a long time. See, that's the thing. I've been talking about all this stuff. I'm like, oh, I haven't made that in a long time. I feel
yeah,
like I go in cycles with
for sure.
recipes. Or it's funny when I ask my husband what he wants, he'll bring something up that I thought, I hadn't even thought about that. But
Yeah,
that was so
yeah,
I kind of have a notebook too that I just keep recipes that worked. And once in a while I look back and say, oh, we should drag that out again. Or
yeah, for sure. So,
I like that black bean soup and I haven't made that in years.
yeah,
I
it's
don't.
really good. Yeah. The immersion blender, I feel like, is a nice tool for soups because you can kind of get some of it
Yes.
and get that nice puree and then, you
It
know,
adds a
reduce it a little.
creaminess without necessarily adding
Right.
a, a, a
Yeah.
fatty dairy to it.
Yeah. The sweet potato soup that I made the most recently, I think was with a coconut milk, and that was
Right.
really good. So, again, oat
I
milk,
made a.
make it pretty creamy. Different, yeah.
I,
Some of the non-dairies work pretty well.
I think so too. They really do work in a lot of cases. I did a like a chickpea pot pie that had coconut milk in it that was really good
Oh,
too.
okay.
It
Yum.
tastes just like a chicken pot pie, I swear.
Now we're solidly into comfort food. So,
Yes, it's winter after all.
right, that's true. That's true. All right. Well, we've been at it for a little while, so let's let these people go. But I like it was fun to
Yeah.
talk food with you, and thanks for coming on. And if anybody has any questions or suggestions or ideas or whatever, questions for Christy, questions for whoever, let us know. But thanks for joining us, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.